The first question will go to Ms. O'Brien. Representing Reading, Bethel, and Danbury, how will you balance the legislative needs of 3 different towns?
Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight, first of all. I really appreciate you taking time out of your busy day to give us this opportunity to answer your questions. So I want to thank you right away for that. That's a good question, because this is a very diverse district. We have quite a different demographic, which is going to be a challenge to either Mr. Bartlett or myself. I think that the crux of balancing those interests, though, is being a very, very good listener, because there's a lot of issues that transcend all 3 towns and all demographics. And those would be taxes, budget, the economy, transportation, health care, all the big items that we all worry about. I assure you, everybody has those concerns. So there's going to be a fair amount of consistent concern, if you will. Issues that affect us all, education, open space, those types of things that we all have a concern about, everyone in this room, regardless of where you're from. And of course then within those 3 towns and within the district are special concerns that communities have. Traffic and infrastructure, open space, education, specific types of issues broken down by the city, even within communities within a town. So I think it's very important for the legislator to have a very good ability to communicate well with not only with state officials that would also share the responsibility for the district, that delegation, if you will, for the 2nd district, but also have a very good rapport with state and local officials, boards and commissions, to get right down to be able to drill down to the issues and the people in the neighborhoods. So I think it's a challenge, but I certainly think the right individual can do that.
Thank you, Mr. Bartlett.
Thank you, and thank the League of Women Voters of Reading. Thanks for everyone for coming out. It's not always easy to do, to come to a political event. I would like to start out by saying that this is my home where I grew up. I went through the school system here, graduated from Joe Barlow High School. I see a good friend of mine who led this town for many, many, many years. It's Mary Ann Guitar, who I grew up with, who was the first selectman in Reading. So I have deep roots in Reading. I feel that I have a good understanding for Reading. I grew up with the motto, keep Reading clean and green. I understand the desire to keep Reading's character and what the issues are that face our town here in Reading. I also had the opportunity to buy a home and to start a business in the town of Bethel, and I've raised 2 children in Bethel. So I have a good feel for being downtown and being a small business owner in what I consider a very unique downtown in this area. I think Bethel has quite the charm, because we are a New England town that has a center to it. And we are a landlocked town, and we have certain obstacles and things in terms of growing our grand list. So we have unique issues in Bethel. And then I think when you grow up in Reading and you live in Bethel, I think you're just naturally a part of Danbury. Danbury being the largest city in the area. I've gone to church in Danbury. My parents are active members of the Salvation Army. I've been an active participant with the Salvation Army in terms of community service and helping those that are in need in Danbury. So I think my biography speaks well to being a state representative from this area. And I also think that as a state representative, I've demonstrated that that life experience will serve me well. Because when an issue, for example, like the expansion of Francis Clark Industrial Park comes up, I feel that I was in a good position to actually look at that issue and speak on principle. Many people would have been beholden to the first selectman of Bethel, who basically said that we have to expand that park and go over state land that's been designated as open space. that said that regardless, we should expand the park and we should infringe on the aquifers and the watersheds that feed Reading and Lower Fairfield County. Some candidates, because they're from Bethel, would have just gone along with that first selectman. I had to stand up and say, no, let me go to the Reading Planning Commission and see what they have to say, which I did. Let me research the facts. Let me speak to the neighbors in Danbury and hear what they have to say, because this project will affect them. And in doing so, I had to take a stand, and I wrote to Bethel's Planning Commission and I said, you can't do this. This is wrong for the following reasons. And I was berated by the first selectman of Bethel the next day, and he blamed me for stopping the project. But Bethel has gone back and done some homework, and the Planning Commission stopped the project and basically said, yes, Representative Bartlett is right, because we have to stop and go back and redo this project. I think that's how you can be an effective state representative with having three very distinct communities. I think that's how you go about it.
Thank you.